it was after my first year of 18s, or it was my first year 18s, maybe. I can't remember, but went to Odessa, started there. I mean, I was probably ready, but I was like right at the line there. So I was just going. I honestly didn't think I was going to make training camp. I tendered and then was just, trying my hardest. I didn't really think I was going to make training camp. Ended up making training camp and stayed all the way through the showcase. And then I think it was like, it kind of sucked because like I wasn't super confident. And it was like the weekend after the showcase. I was like, all right, I got a few games under my belt. We went to Wichita Falls, which is now Oklahoma City, but went to Wichita Falls and kind of had my first real like away game with a real crowd like supporting the home team. And I played decent, so I was like, all right, I can play in this league. Like I started to get confidence, and then it was like the like 3 days after we got back, they had to make one more cut for like the 23-man roster, and it was me, so I had to go back to Tri-State. So that was kind of a bummer. But then later that year, tendered with Aberdeen, and I was pumped about that because Aberdeen's always been a top NOL team. Practiced with them a lot. Finished the rest of the year 18s, and we had one more tournament left for 18s, and there's a rule in the NOL where you can activate one of your tenders for playoffs. And so I've been talking to the coaches between me and this other guy, and they ended up picking me, but I had to finish my last tournament with Tri-State before I could come up and finish the year with Aberdeen. So I was pumped about that, and I get to that last game, and it was Mid-Am District, so we got to win the tournament to go to Natties. And we were kind of like middle of the pack, so I wasn't for sure if we were getting through or not. So I kind of packed everything up, ready to go. And the second to last game, I ended up getting hurt. It was a season-ending injury, so I couldn't go up and finish with Aberdeen. And it kind of after that, Aberdeen, I don't know, over the summer came back the next year, and the new management came in. And once new management came in, he kind of just like cleaned house and brought his new guys in and cut or traded everybody away. So that was kind of a tough situation. So I had really didn't have anywhere to go. I was at home for like a couple weeks, and then this guy Ryan Kosecki, who's like the GM of Maryland, where I'm playing now, and was also the GM of Mercer Chiefs in the NCDC, kind of called my dad and said they were looking for guys. So I went over there and just tried it out and ended up liking it. It was, I mean, like the NCDC is pretty solid. It's okay. Like the difference is it's not physical at all. Like there's no physicality. But yeah, I liked it. I finished there last year with Mercer, and then now I made Maryland through going to training camp here in the next like 3 weeks. So
I mean, think of this. Just think of this. So there's this kid, Silas Clark. He just told me that he got cut from one of the USHL teams. He's at UNH, one of
yeah,
the best players in Hockey East right now, and he's nasty. And he got cut. He got cut from a team, and that think of what's when you go play Division I hockey wherever you go, you're gonna have that story. Hey, I got cut. You know,
right, yeah,
it's motivation. So
absolutely, absolutely.
pretty cool. Um, but so yeah, you got cut. What'd you do to better yourself? Did you kind of sit there and you're like, ah, shit, like what do I do? Or did you get up?
Yeah.
What did you do?
Yeah, so I moped around when I went back to AAA, I kind of moped around for the first couple weeks. It was kind of like I was like, fuck this, like kind of thing. And my dad comes up to me and he kind of just snapped me back into it. He's like, you can either mope around and not get better and just be pissed off all the time, or you can, get in the weight room, get your mind right and start getting back to it. And that really kind of was like, you know what, he's right. Like I got to stop just moping around and I got to get after it here again. So I started picking it up there, and then it was just, the weight room, just 100% effort and practice every day, like just really trying to get better. It all came back. I snapped out of that mindset and it brought me back. So,
Nice. Um, is there any like off ice things that you do with hockey? Like I know you hit the weight room, but are you shooting
yeah.
pucks during the day? Are you stick handling? What do you do?
Yeah. So I have a little synthetic ice kind of thing in my garage that we set up. And that's what I did that a lot, was shooting pucks. And I've gotten away from it now just because I'm on the ice a pretty good amount. but just kind of the shooting pucks, stick handling off the ice, weight room, and then just kind of like sprints out in the street at night, like when it's not busy. So
Mhm. Yeah, good
stuff
stuff.
like that.
Yeah, there you go. Um, yeah, dude, it's the grind, man. It's the grind.
Yeah, it really is. It's a full-time job once you're in season.
Yeah. Um, even as a club hockey player, you still got to grind a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't take any time off. I got to still. So.
Yeah, and I mean UK is always pretty solid too. So
Oh yeah.
they're legit for club. They don't mess around.
Yeah, it was some good hockey, good pace when I went down there. I get to skate with a
Yeah,
couple of the whole team actually. It was
yeah, they're a
super
good group of guys too. I know most of them just from living here, kind of hanging out with them at the hockey house when I'm in town. They're a good group of guys.
nice. Yeah, I mean, when I was down there, they made me feel like I was on the team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, Good pace, great pace of hockey. It'll be pretty cool to go down there. Have you been to a game?
Yeah, I actually went to one of those Midnight Madness games. It was those are hilarious. Everybody just shows up like you're at a party before the game, and then you show up, and I mean, I actually funny crazy story. I got cut from Aberdeen, and it's a 16-hour drive home, and I left Saturday morning and drove 16 hours straight to the rink and showed up at like 12:05 and caught the Midnight Madness game. It was hilarious. It was like I was super tired when I get there, and then it's just so rowdy at the games. Everybody's fired up at midnight, so it just kind of woke me up, and it's pretty funny. It's a good atmosphere for sure.
Good stuff. And do you know all the guys on the team right now?
Yeah, I know a decent bit. Like I know like Tim Burke, um, obviously Jess, couple like Mark or Rue, I think his name is. I might have butchered that, but
Hmm.
few of the boys there. Jonah Kokan. I actually played tri-state with Jonah Kokan, so I
Cool.
know I know a few of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, if Division 1 doesn't work out for you, you got a home.
Yeah, hometown hero.
Yeah, hometown six
Yeah,
seven
yeah,
hero.
that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Imagine that. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
no,
that'd be nice.
keep chasing the dream, dude. Keep chasing it. Um, let's get
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
back to your career here. So, NCDC, how was that?
Yeah, it was all right. I didn't really know what to expect going into it. It was good for me personally because I was able to stick around for a full season of juniors and really get like games under my belt and kind of experience that junior experience like fully through. So that was good for me. I was able to be I was a forward. I've been a forward my whole life, but Maryland switched me to D. We can talk about that later. But it was good to finally be able to score some goals at a junior level and get put points up and be a top guy for a team. So it was nice. It was a good year.
Sweet. And so do you have any highlights or anything? Like, did you ever get in any fights or any goals that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, there's some decent goals that were big for the team, but no fights. The NCDC had a rule where if you fought, it was like an automatic, like you're out the rest of that game and the next game. So my coach wasn't really big on us fighting. Um, so no, I never really got in a fight in the NCDC. It wasn't very common. I don't think we didn't have any fights. My team didn't have any fights all year. At least not from when I got there to the end of the year. There might have been a few at the start of the year, but there was no fights when I got there. So it wasn't really a fighting league.
Yeah. Kind of just stupidity if you honestly fight. Like, I think that was the same rule in the EHL. If you fight,
Right. Yeah.
auto, instant.
Auto suspension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I
so
got in one in main camp, but it wasn't nothing much.
yeah. And so what about the fight that you were talking about? So you went from NCDC and then you got into a fight in the Null, right?
Yeah, in a main camp, in the Maryland's main camp. couple like last month. It wasn't anything crazy. There were like no fights all throughout main camp. There was one pretty solid one, and then I was kind of looking for one because I never fought, so I was like, I kind of need to show them that I'll drop them. Like I'm not afraid to fight, kind of thing. So me and my brother were on the same main camp team, and this kid was probably I don't know, he's like 6'3", probably like 240. Like he was a beefy boy, and he's like cross checking my brother in front of the net. So I was playing center, he was playing wing. So I'm in the corner, and I see this out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, all right, here's perfect time, kind of see if somebody wants it. So I go over and I kind of give him a cross check, and then he cross checks me back. We're both kind of at the same time. Was like, you want to fucking do it? Like, let's do it. Toss the gloves off, and it was pretty quick. I grabbed him. We both grab each other, and I kind of ducked away to wait for him to throw the first one. And I felt him kind of like hit the side of my helmet right here. I could hear him. I could feel it hit me. So like, all right, now's the time to go because he's already thrown one. He's kind of in a vulnerable position. So as I'm like turning to throw it, as I'm like hitting him, he loses balance. So like it felt like I had just like one punch knocked like he didn't get knocked out. He just fell down, but it looks like I just like one punch him and he goes down, and it's kind of funny, but yeah, that's kind of just I punch him once. We kind of roll over top of each other. We're wrestling on the ground for a little bit. We each throw a couple more while we're on the ground, and it was pretty quick. It was like a 5 to 10 second fight. It was nothing crazy, but it was nice to get the first one. And now if I need to, I can this year without
Yeah.
having to think about it.
How were you feeling like your first fight? Were you nervous?
Oh man, it honestly it happened so quick. Like I just went up to him, I was like, "Let's go," and it was just such like an adrenaline rush. Like after you're like going to the bench because you don't go into the box at main camp, so you just skate back to the bench, and it's like, holy shit, like that just happened kind of thing. And you honestly kind of black out when you first drop them. Like you just kind of black out and go, and then you just kind of think about it once it's over. But yeah,
Yeah,
it was a good experience.
sweet, dude. Yeah, it's good to get that out of the way, but you want to keep these right here, dude.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely.
But also, you're playing, null hockey. That could be like the factor to getting you to D1. That hey,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
exactly.
embrace. I can embrace the me losing my teeth, me fucking losing my eyeball, anything like that. Like some
Right.
coaches want to see that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of how my coach this year, Maryland, wants it. Like, he just wants you to play super tough. He's like, he told me before main camp, he's like, I'm not asking you to go out there and just drop the gloves with everybody and fight everybody. He's like, that's just not what hockey is now. But he's like, we want you to play tough. And when you play tough, it's probably going to happen if you play like a prick. So it's like, just be ready for it and don't back down. And that's kind of what you just got to do. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Um, so like way back in the day, I was playing for like the EHLP. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, is that like the premier, EHL premier?
Yeah, like the
Or is what's EHL2?
it's the B League of the EHL, and
Okay.
there I was like 16 at the time, and the EHL coach, I remember him saying that he's like, if you're gonna go out and lose a tooth, embrace it. Like we want to see that. We want to see guys like going for the pucks, eating pucks, and you know
Right.
shit like that. Like you got to embrace junior hockey.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what a lot of coaches want to see. Um, but yeah,
They,
so
they just want to know you're not scared.
exactly. Um, and so you're in the freaking null, absolutely crazy from the Viet null. You see shit like that all the time.
Yeah. Oh,
Crazy
yeah.
videos, like line brawls, like to start
Oh,
off.
yeah.
It's insane.
It looks like fun. It looks like fun.
Yeah. Um. So when was it Odessa? You were telling me about that story, the hotel story. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, yeah. So it's the Null Showcase in Minnesota. All the teams are there. It's a pretty big week. And this was kind of like my first like experience with the Null, like this is a Null moment kind of thing, Viet Null moment. And so we check into our hotel and we're all getting our stuff ready. And one of the guys opens our door that I was in with. And he's like, he opens the door and he goes, "What the fuck? Where's all this water coming from?" So everybody's like, "What?" And we all look out, and there's just like we're on the first floor, and the whole first floor down our hall is just covered in water, like ankle high. And so we're like knocking on doors, like, "Hey, what's going on? Like, is somebody's bathroom flooding? What's happening?" And the Anchorage Wolverines team was also like on our floor too. So everybody's like looking out, like trying to figure out what's going on. And no, now we're shoving towels in the door so like water's not getting through into our room and everything. And it starts to get loud in the hall. So we're like, what's going on out there? We open the door and check. And some of the Anchorage Wolverine guys had their bathing suits on and they're just like jumping in the water and kind of like swimming around, just messing around, belly flopping and all this. And we're like, it's just kind of like such a null moment. We ended up finding out that it was like there was like a family bathroom down the hall that was just overflowing with water. So it was like toilet water that was all on our first floor, and the boys were just swimming in it. And it was disgusting, but it was kind of like, you sit back in the hotel room and you're like, God, that's so null. Like that's just it's just the league, man. You can't get away from stuff like that when you're in the null.
No, that is too funny right there.
Yeah.
Just
So,
expectations of the null just went up. Like
right. It's like that's just supposed to happen when you play here.
that's unreal. I'm
Yeah.
clipping that. Whatever you think about that one's getting clipped. Oh my god, that is
Yeah, go for it, man. Yeah, it's funny.
that is funny. Um, so I think we're running out of time. We might be able to finish it
Yeah.
here. Um, maybe a couple more. So,
Yeah.
um, what's in your future for hockey? What do what are you going to do to make your dreams come true and get to that Division 1 level?
Yeah, so this year's really big for me, and I know that going into it. I'm actually going through a position change right now. I was like 3 games into main camp at Maryland, and I'm sitting on the bench. I get back from a shift, and the bench coach, I guess, got a text from the head coach and was like, "Hey, he wants to see you on D a little bit. Like, just go back there, rush the puck, use your wheels." So I'm like, "All right, sure, let's try it." So I go back, and there's only like 10 minutes left in the game, so I got like 2 or 3 shifts maybe back on D, and I was like, that's whatever. And then I get a call, or no, I'm walking out of the rink, and one of the GMs comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, we think we're going to put you on D again for the pre All Star game. We just kind of want to see how you do for the full game." So I'm like, "All right, yeah, I don't mind. That's whatever. It's cool." So I go play a full game. I thought I did okay. I wasn't like completely comfortable back there just because that was literally my first game as a defenseman. And then after that, I get a call from the coach, and he's like, "I like you at D. I want to see you play in the All Star game at D if you want to. Like, it's up to you if you want to do it. If not, like, he was like, honestly, I see you as a defenseman for my team. So, like, all right, if that's what you see, let's do it." Like, I played D that last All Star game, and I actually played pretty well for the first couple of games. So I was kind of happy about it, and got the exit interview. And he was like, "Look, like if you want to be a forward, I'm sure Mercer will take you back as a forward. But if you want to play here, I see you as a D, and I want you to be a D." So I was like, let's do it. Like, I'm not going to pass up an opportunity to play in the null. So I was like, let's do it. So that, just try it right now. I'm just trying to figure it out as a defenseman, just getting the gap right and positioning and all of this. And, I know most of it just from knowing the game of hockey, but so being and then weight room, obviously just like getting stronger, faster, and then just being a big body at defenseman is what I need this year. Obviously I'm still chasing the D1 dream, so that's what we're going for. I have a few like solid D3 options that I could go to if I don't make D1. So, I'm still in decent hands, but that's the goal, is just, go hard this year, just do the best I can. And if it doesn't come, it doesn't come, but that's what I'm going for. So,
Great, dude. Well, I'm hoping for a D1 commit, man. I want to see you go. And honestly,
yeah, absolutely.
NHL might be in the picture, dude. Like, seriously.
One step at a time, one step at a time. That's kind of,
Yeah, one step at a time, but it's gonna be there before you know it. And you might just be in
yeah,
there. 6'7".
that'd be awesome.
You got the height. So yeah, man, I wish you the best of luck. Hopefully I'll
Appreciate it.
catch you pretty soon. Um,
Yeah.
within a couple
If
weeks.
you're heading down here
Yeah.
before, yeah. So I think we're leaving I think we have to be in Maryland the 19th. So if you're there before that, just hit me up and
I'm pretty
I'll
sure
show you
I'll,
around Lexington or whatever.
I'm pretty sure I'll be there like the 17th, so that would be cool.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna end the recording.